The long wait is over. The time is now. The place is here. Ladies and gentlemen, great to have you with us this morning. Welcome to the official presentation for the UCI Track Champions League. An all-new format. You're going to discover everything there is to know about the format in a matter of minutes indeed. We're right here in Saint-Quentin-en-Yvelines on the outskirts of the French capital, Paris. The iconic Vélodrome of Saint-Quentin-en-Yvelines, of course, a world-renowned venue that will very much be a part of the UCI Track Champions League, but also on the Olympic Games in Paris 2024 as well. But today, unfortunately, we could not set up shop inside the Vélodrome. We're inside the theater only meters away. Why couldn't we set up shop over there? Taking a look at the video package here, because the Vélodrome at the moment serving a noble cause, getting shots into arms as the French government intensifies its vaccination campaign to fight the global coronavirus pandemic indeed. COVID-19 as we battle strong to get shots into arms in the Vélodrome. We will be there, however, for the commencement, of course, of the UCI Track Champions League. Prestigious guests in Saint-Quentin-en-Yvelines. We'll talk to them in a matter of moments as well. And we also have our friends on the other side of the channel, the southwest of England, the town of Bath. I hope my accent is doing justice to the beauty of that location. Let's check in with Orla Chinawi and her distinctive guest as well.
Yes, very well done on the pronunciation, Mark. Thank you. It's such a shame we can't be there with you for this hugely exciting day. It's not often you get to usher in a brand new international competition format, but we are delighted to be with you remotely at least. We have some incredibly exciting reveals for everyone today, and a wonderful lineup of guests here in Bath, as well as with you in Saint-Quentin. A little bit of a tease as to who's to come. And I know you have your first guest to introduce for us over there, don't you, Mark?
You're absolutely right, Orla. Getting ready to welcome them one by one on this very stage. Our very first guest getting ready to join us right now. He's at the end of the tunnel, the corridor of power. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the president of the UCI, Mr. David Lapartien. Welcome, David. Great to see you. Usually we connect on road cycling events. Great to be involved in this UCI Track Champions League presentation. We'll talk to you in just a moment. Let's check in with Orla on the other side of the channel.
Yes, Mark, already with me on the set, I have none other than the president of Eurosport, Andrew Giorgio. Lovely to have you here, Andrew. Can't wait to get talking to you about what we have to launch here today. But first, let's hear from David with Mark.
Right, Orla, indeed. So David Lapartien, the boss of the UCI, obviously want to get to know a little bit more about the thought process involved in the idea of implementing the UCI Track Champions League.
You know, when I was a candidate to be the UCI president, I said we have to do something for track cycling. Track cycling is a so wonderful discipline. I always had the passion, like a lot of committed fans, for track cycling. But track cycling is very popular during the Olympic Games, during the World Championships. But we need something else. We need something where we can engage more with the fans, a new TV-friendly format. And this is why we started to discuss internally at the UCI. And finally, we have been able to discuss and to have this agreement with Eurosport Events. And we are very happy today to launch the UCI Track Champions League.
Can you tell us a bit about the objective and the structure of the new season?
The objective of the new season is to have finally 3 big legs. The first one will be the UCI Nations Cup. Then we have all the disciplines. It's a sort of the former UCI World Cups. Then you have all the Olympic disciplines. You can qualify for the UCI Track Championships. The second with 3 legs. Then you have the UCI Track World Championships. One of the pinnacle of the season, because to wear the iconic rainbow jersey is something wonderful for all the riders. So this will be, and we switch from February, March to October, and then we will have after with the riders who will be qualified through the UCI Track World Championships, the UCI Track Champions League with 6 legs, and that will be wonderful.
It will be wonderful, and also a theme that is near and dear to your heart, gender equality, 72 riders, 36 men, 36 women. Let's go back over to Bath and check in with Orla and her guests as well.
Thanks, Marco. Andrew, we've just heard David's thoughts on why we're launching this from a UCI perspective. So as far as Eurosport and Discovery are concerned, why this? Why now?
Well, I think everyone realises that Eurosport and cycling are pretty synonymous, right? There's not a cycling fan on the planet that doesn't associate cycling with Eurosport and Eurosport with cycling. And GCN as well. You know, I think we're a very well-known network of content for cyclists. But more important than just our broadcast prowess, I think it's also our event experience, right? We really want to make this event something really special, especially the in-venue experience. We want to make sure this is exciting and fun and high impact. There's lights, there's energy, there's music, and we want this to be a really big family affair as well. We want people to have a really good night out. So I think it's our event experience, and I think also our ability to bring brands into this as well in order to be able to showcase our 360-degree kind of experience here. I think is a really important asset, and our partnership with the UCI, and I think goes a long way to guaranteeing success.
And you already have this huge global audience as well. It's the perfect opportunity to grow track cycling in a way that it feels like it's been craving for many years.
Yeah, it feels like, I mean, just exactly as David said, it feels like track cycling has been underdeveloped, right? And it's probably the simplest form of the sport. It's the easiest part to watch. You can be in one place, you can see everything that goes on, and we think there's a real opportunity to develop this event into something really exciting, and the calendar and the consistency of the athletes, I think, is going to make a really interesting story over 6 exciting weeks.
You've mentioned already the family aspect as well, and what I think is really attractive about this is it's not just about the sport. When we look at Discovery and Eurosport, you have GCN as an incredible asset, and it's a way to, I guess, bring fans into the sport in a different way, through storytelling, through a wider appreciation of the sport.
Well, we've just launched, many people may know this already, but we've just launched a fabulous documentary series on GCN, and people are starting to really enjoy that. And our ability as a storyteller, as a content business, to tell stories outside of the live event, outside of what happens on the track, be able to tell the broader story is something that we really want to lean into as well. So we're really excited about that.
Well, there's plenty more to talk about, so we will be doing just that. But first, let's hear a little bit more from David and Mark.
Thanks so much, Orla and David. As we carry on this conversation, everyone at home can check out, of course, the format of the new competition on the screen right here. So, David, obviously, when you organize something and implement something like the UCI Track Champions League, who better to do it with than a leviathan in the broadcast industry, Discovery? Tell us a bit about that partnership.
You know, when we started to think about this new format, we said we need also to have a partner to build this new story finally, a worldwide partner who will be able to bring and really to deliver the goal that we had at the UCI, and of course Discovery Group, GCN, and Eurosport and Eurosport Events were really the home of cycling finally for us. So it was something that came simply like this. We have to do this with them.
Just a natural connection of sorts.
Exactly.
We've talked about the partnership. Obviously, you would need key ambassadors as well to carry the project.
Of course, because you need to have, when you deliver something like this, it needs to be a success immediately, and to start immediately at a top level, not to grow slowly and slowly. So, and this is why to work with the Discovery Group, that was something for us very important.
Now, all the ingredients clearly are there to live something exciting, an all-new format as well. I'm sure you're excited and can't wait to get the show on the road.
Exactly, because the format will be short, 2 hours, as Andrew said. You can come with your family to see track cycling. You will not spend all the day, like, for example, the World Cup from 8 o'clock in the morning to 11 p.m. So you can go for 2 hours. The first to cross the finishing line will win the race. And we also decided at the UCI to modify a little bit the format of the races. Instead of having, for example, 3 laps on a sprint, you can have only 2 laps. You can elimination every lap. So it will be something also very pushy, I would say.
Absolutely. Wow, just a mouth-watering experience already. Let's hand it back over to Bath and Orla.
Isn't it just, Mark? Well, Andrew, let's talk a little bit more about what this means for the cycling fan. As you say, Eurosport is the home of cycling. It is also now the home of the Olympics. And with this Track Champions League, the UCI TCL, we've got a year-long narrative through the sport as well, don't we?
Yeah, I think we've got over 300 days of cycling that we broadcast. With 2,500 hours of content, and this is part of that story that we want to tell over the course of 12 months. It's a really important part of that story. And being able to tell that for us is really important because we also want to develop the sport. We've got some really cool innovations coming with this particular event in terms of being able to develop the data. And how do you tell what's happening on the track, and how do you communicate to the audience about the speed, the watts, the output of the cyclist at any given moment in time? How do you tell these stories beyond what you can actually just see on air? And that's something that we really want to invest in as well.
That's really interesting, I think, and that's really exciting because it's the kind of data that we see an awful lot now, but we don't necessarily get access to. It brings another dimension to our understanding of what these athletes go through, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does, and that's part of our ability to tell a broader story, right? And we've seen some really good innovations. The Giro d'Italia this season has actually started to tease some of those statistics and information, that telemetry out, and I think it's been a really welcome innovation by them, and we want to take it to the next level when we launch this event at the end of the year.
And this is a big deal. You have to get it right, not just for the fans, but for the athletes as well, and I understand they are really excited about this.
There's a bit of pressure.
No responsibility on your shoulders whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I think getting it right in the first year is really important, and making sure that we make the right investment, the right experience that gets the fans excited about being there, and then making them want to come back. I mean, be able to tell their friends and their family and be able to see it and say, look, I had a great time last year and I want to go back again this year, and starting to create demand for the event and to really give these athletes the credit that they deserve for all the hard work. The Olympics is great, and we know that cycling and track cycling really works well in the Olympics, but between the Olympics, it kind of is, it does get lost a little bit. And if we can help elevate these athletes to, the effort that they put in, the training they put in, their athletic prowess is awesome, right? And if we can help elevate those stories, I think we'd be really proud to do that.
And this is not just a new project, but it's a new departure for you as a company as well. For those who don't understand at home, Eurosport Events are able to partner in cycling for the very first time. Yeah,
this is the first cycling event we've done, but we do promote a number of different events in other sports. And we thought, well, hang on a sec, we are the home of cycling, and cycling is a massive participation sport. Well, why don't we start thinking about actually using our event expertise and applying it to one of our core pillars, and something that we're really very well known for in cycling? So it seemed like an obvious next step for us.
We know the success of road cycling, and as you say, the narrative of track cycling can get lost in that 4-year cycle of the Olympics. Without putting words in your mouth, is your ambition to, I guess, bring that kind of platform to track cycling that we see on the road?
Well, as David said, this fits now into a narrative of track cycling as well, right? So the UCI, I think, have done a good job to think through what does the track cycling, championships and season start to look like, and where does this fit within that season? So I think one of the hardest things we have as a sports organisation is to tell the story, right? When we're in the moment, when we're an athlete, when we're a super fan, we know everything about it. But for the more casual fans, it can become really complicated. So part of our job is to simplify the story, simplify the season, make it clear where everyone fits in. And I think this particular event does that really well. And I really hope we can do that.
Now, Andrew, I'm not sure if the technology will allow us, but given the fact that we're having to do this remotely, and we would love to have this launch all in the one spot, I will give you the opportunity. We'll give it a go. We're being daring. We're being innovative. Let's see if you can ask a little question to David, because I know you'd like to have a chat with him as well. Let's see if you can pose one to him down the line to Saint Quentin. On this camera here, if that's OK, Andrew.
David, I guess my number one question would be, what are you looking forward to the most come November when the first event comes around? What are you looking forward to the most?
I would say we are just looking for people going outside of the Vélodrome after the event with a big smile. I said, okay, we spent a very good evening. It was wonderful, magnificent. We want to be back, and we want to see the other legs on TV. So this is really the goal, and also to promote track cycling and to promote the athletes. it will be the first real event with the gender equality. That's key for us, and this will really also be a showcase for the athletes.
So David, I'm just going to jump in right there because Orla was a bit of a daredevil. The tech followed suit. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to get you to ask a question to Andrew.
So Andrew, for you, what are you expecting of this first UCI Track Champions League and the partnership with the UCI?
The number one thing in my mind is the in-venue experience. I think if we can create high levels of energy in the venue, music, entertainment, and great athletic performance, I'd be really happy with that because I know that'll achieve your aim, which is putting smiles on people's faces. And if we can do that, then I think we'll both be happy.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Andrew, for the insight. And ladies and gentlemen, when do these events take place? Where do they take place? The two W's. Let's answer those right away with the official calendar. Well, there you have it. You know all the details about the UCI Track Champions League calendar. Can't wait to get the show on the road and to find out more about the excitement of the UCI TCL hashtag UCI TCL. It's my pleasure to welcome right now the head of Eurosport Events, François Ribeiro.
Morning, Mark.
Good morning, François. Great to have you on set as well. We just saw the calendar, iconic locations, 5 different countries. I mean, we're just looking forward to jumping right into it. Tell us a bit more about this 2021 calendar, will you?
Well, we wanted, as Andrew and David explained, we wanted to have something very impact, very condensed. So we decided to do 6 events in 6 weeks, every Saturday evening, prime time. So it will be like a circus moving mainly in Europe, with the exception of a grand finale in Israel. I will be something. We have done this for 3 main reasons. The first one being creating a very strong window for track cycling at the end of the year, at the back of the World Championship, the UCI World Championship, which will happen always in October, which will serve as a qualifying. So we want track cycling to have its strong window in November and December. We'll probably expand from season 2 towards mid-January at the latest. That's the reason one, with no overlap with road cycling. The second reason is to keep fans engaged. Because, wow, that would be something whether you are attending the event on site or you watch it on screen. Every Saturday evening, bang, 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 you have something. I mean, it's great to keep up with the flow of the season. And the third reason, and probably the most important, was to structure something which would allow riders, top riders, to stay at the very peak of their form towards the end of the year. So yeah, I very much look forward to this.
I like the way you're talking about the Saturday night fever already, yeah. That sort of a weekly rendezvous. François, why did Eurosport Events decide to develop a new track cycling event?
Oh, that's a long story, but I try to make it short. Well, as Andrew said, cycling is just a pillar for Eurosport. It's also a pillar for discovery. I think Eurosport has been broadcasting absolutely everything in cycling for the last 30 years. But we decided, I think 3 years ago, we took the decision with the president of Discovery that Eurosport Events, after more or less 25 years of experience in organizing car racing and motorbike events, we decided to get involved into cycling, bring our contribution to the cycling vertical that Discovery is building. And we just felt in love with track cycling because we knew that the sport was extremely strong and global and had all the right ingredients because as an Olympic discipline. But we just felt that as a promoter, Eurosport Events, with the power of Eurosport and Discovery at the back, could bring something to improve the narrative of the sport in between two Summer Olympics. And for us, track cycling is as close as you can get from what we are very used to with car racing and motorbike racing.
Exactly, that's a perfect transition because you guys obviously are well known for creating motorsport events, two-wheel and four-wheel. We're on two wheels here in cycling as well. How different is it for you as Eurosport Events to create something in a different genre like track cycling?
Well, I mean, what is certain is that when as a head of Eurosport Events, when you explain internally that we would get involved in track cycling, I mean, I don't need to tell you, Mark, but the amount of interest we had in the group, because there are so many cycling fans, genuine cycling fans at Eurosport. Yes, we did not have a huge expertise as cycling promoter at Eurosport Events, but we had so much resources inside the group at GCN, at Eurosport, at Discovery to help us, and the quality of the dialogue with UCI from day one, when we had to take such a risk to take bold decisions to reform the sport, not to reform, to change the sport itself, but the way it is organized and the way it is presented to the public, cutting into something extremely impact over 2 hours and a half. It was, I think, that quality of the dialogue and the amount of interest we had genuinely internally, which produced such a format.
Wow, thank you so much for the insight here, Francois. Stick around on the set. We'll talk more with you in a matter of moments. But right now, let's welcome the representative for the very first venue, indeed, the island of Mallorca. It, of course, is already bringing sun and lots of smiles to our faces, such as the intent of the UCI Track Champions League. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sport and Tourism Councillor, this is Andreu Serra. Andrew, a very warm welcome to you. Great to see you here in Saint-Quentin-en-Yvelines, only meters away from the iconic Vélodrome. We know what Mallorca can bring to the UCI Track Champions League. But what can the UCI Track Champions League bring to Mallorca?
Mallorca is in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, is the island in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, and is the leader in the summer, is the leader with the beaches, with the holidays. But we want to be a leader not only in the summer, throughout the year. And the sports and tourism is very important working together. Mallorca is perfect for tennis, Mallorca is perfect for golf, and Mallorca is perfect for cycling. On November, on December, throughout the year, the cycling outdoor and indoor. For us, it's very important even to show Mallorca not only in the summer seasons.
Not only in the summer, November, December. Sounds like a good time to visit the island as well.
Very good weather for us.
Andreu, do you think this will generate more interest in track cycling in Spain?
Yes, I think that there's more generating in Spain porque el ciclismo es muy importante. El ciclismo es uno de los aspectos o uno de los deportes más importantes
very important sport,
para
of course,
nosotros.
in the nation of Spain.
Yes.
I was just jumping in for the translation there really briefly. Andreu,
That's the most important, yes, for us. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, great to have you on board, the very first venue as well. Let's welcome on set yet another guest who'll tell us more about the UCI Track Champions League. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Laurent Mazouri, the Vice President of Sports of Saint-Quentin-en-Yvelines region. Good to see you again, Laurent Mazuri. Welcome to the official set for the launch, the official UCI Track Champions League presentation. Saint-Quentin-en-Yvelines is a name synonymous with track cycling. You have the world-renowned Vélodrome that will be used for the UCI TCL and, of course, for Paris 2024. Do you think this could help raise awareness, perhaps even get more exposure for the iconic Vélodrome?
Yes, morning, Mark. First of all, I would like to precise that Saint-Quentin-en-Yvelines is known as ski. And it's not a city in itself, it's a urban community. This is very important to have in mind. International events such as the UCI Track Champions League are always a very good way to promote our territory and our infrastructures. The more people know that our Vélodrome exists and how fantastic it is, and that ski is a land of sport, the better it is for us, of course. So we are very proud to host the UCI Track Champions League, and it will be an amazing show, and it will increase track cycling fame, and it will give us the opportunity to be seen by millions of viewers with you.
Imagine that, millions of viewers Saturday night watching the location of Saint-Quentin-en-Yvelines. Talking from a local perspective, how do sporting events such as this one positively affect grassroots uptake of sport?
As you know, ski will host the Olympics in 2024, and for the track cycling, the mountain bikes, the BMX, and also for the girls, of course. Each international sport event is a fantastic opportunity to inform people about sport, to encourage them to want to practice sport. We think that the most important legacy about the Olympics will be to help people to take care of themselves, because the sport is good for the body, that is good for mind. As we like to say, mens sana in corpore sano. And sport is a fabulous way to meet people, so it has a huge social impact, either at school, at work, or within the family life. We strongly believe in sport values. We believe that sport is fundamental for our life. So yes, to answer to you, big sport events affect grassroots uptakes because it wakes up the sport spirit inside each of us.
Waking up the sporting spirit eats inside each and every one of us. Thank you so much, Laurent Mazuri, Vice President of Sport for Saint-Quentin-en-Yvelines region. We have some guests over here, but I'm sure Orla Chinawi on the other side of the channel has some guests as well.
I do indeed, Mark, and I am delighted to be joined by another key partner in the UCI Track Champions League. It's Brian Facer, the CEO of British Cycling. Brian, welcome. We've been talking and hearing there a little bit about how we hope that this UCI TCL will increase awareness of track cycling. How do you see that happening in the UK so that we're not just generating more excitement but better knowledge of the sport?
Yeah, and thank you for having me this morning. So look, I think track is already a really exciting discipline and an undervalued discipline from the general public's point of view. So look, I think the unique experience this brings will appeal to a first-timer, to the digital generation, and also to the established cycling supporters. And actually that will create the awareness and actually the protocols to bring it forward as well. So look, I think it's just a really exciting format to have that digital version.
Let's talk about competition, Brian, because I know you'll be keen for the British cyclists to be right up there. There's an awful lot of talent coming through, and we have a strong tradition here, the last few Olympic cycles in track cycling. How do you see the UK athletes doing in this?
Look, we're really fortunate to have a really strong talent pathway that takes you all the way from grassroots to podium in Paralympics and Olympics as well. So, you know, I think our riders are ready now to help this succeed and really excited to do it as well. Look, and as somebody that's really passionate about the sport globally and the health of our sports, for me, this is about how do you stimulate the track cycling globally and across the world as well. So I think that's really important for us.
Feel that passion, Brian. It's brilliant. It's so exciting. Well, as we know, it hasn't, unfortunately, been possible to have all our guests and partners together for today's launch, but we do have a very special message to share. This from our friends in Lithuania.
Dear UCI Track Champions League organizers, cyclists and fans, it's a great pleasure to welcome you from Lithuania. We have no doubt that this new exceptional project will be a great success as a competition and will give a lot of positive emotions to cyclists, fans all around the world. We are glad that one of the stages of this competition will take place in Lithuania. It's both an honor and an appreciation for the cyclist community of our country. All participants, guests, and spectators are welcome in Panevėžys, which also known as city with profound traditions in all kinds of sports. Many world-renowned athletes started the journey in Panevėžys. I'm sure that you will have a great experience visiting Panevėžys, the capital of Lithuania, northeast region. We look forward to see you here on November 27th. Wishing a greatest success for the project, good luck for athletes, and lots of emotions for sport fans.
Time now to welcome yet another guest on stage right here in Saint-Quentin-en-Yvelines. We're going to the nation of Israel for the big finale at the end of the very first UCI Track Champions League. We're going to welcome a representative for Israel, the event promoter, Sylvan Adams. Sylvan joining us, a very warm welcome to you. A beautiful smile on your face as well. Israel Startup Nation. Of course, we've heard about Israel Startup Nation in road cycling. But when we talk specifically about track cycling, what is the aim, what is the objective for the land of Israel?
So I built the Vélodrome in Tel Aviv, and I'm also the owner of Israel Startup Nation cycling team. And I would say I'm borrowing a page out of British cycling. The United Kingdom became the preeminent nation in cycling, in both track and road cycling, after the construction of the Manchester Vélodrome, the National Cycling Centre, for the Commonwealth Games. And a lot of their great road riders, Cavendish, Wiggins, legendary names in road cycling, they all came up through the track. Geraint Thomas, really, and so I'm trying to replicate some of the success of British cycling, and Israel is becoming an emerging cycling nation. We now have 4 riders in the World Tour, which is something unprecedented. We have also a development team, the Israel Cycling Academy, where we have another 7 very promising Israeli riders, in addition to 3 Canadians and a few other internationals. And so we're developing the sport and doing it at the grassroots level. The Vélodrome is a great place to get kids into the sport of cycling. We're going into the schools, we're testing them. We have a wonderful national coach by the name of Steve McEwen, who did great things with Dutch cycling. And we're, as I said, we're building the sport from the ground up, and they can see aspirationally that they can reach the highest level of the sport.
Sylvan, I want to travel in time just a little bit forward, if you will. Join me in this time travel experience. What effect will the UCI Track Champions League have on track cycling in Israel?
So I was also responsible to bring the 2018 big start, Grande Partenza, of the Giro d'Italia to Israel. And I can tell you that perhaps 2-3 days before the Giro arrived in Israel, and it is a crazy traveling roadshow, maybe 98 or 99% of Israelis had never even heard of the Giro d'Italia. And yet, knowing that we would be on the world stage, and 1 million Israelis came out into the street, and we had a 3-day national group hug, loving cycling and cheering on the home team, my cycling team. So I think that, and what that did, you know, having the best riders in the world, that inspired kids again to want to become cyclists. And so, you know, they bugged their parents, buy me a bike, and we saw a massive growth in the sport in Israel, to the point where today cycling is the fastest growing sport in the country. I think that the track, having the use, you know, being the venue for the grand finale of the UCI World Track Champions League, I think we'll do the same thing. I think it will be really inspirational that kids who maybe never even heard of track cycling, seeing the best in the world on home soil, competing for the whole series, I think will be really, really inspirational, and I'm hoping it will draw a lot of new kids into the sport. And as I said, build it from the base up. And as I said, Israel is an emerging track cycling nation, emerging road cycling nation, and you know, we're going to be heard from. Israelis are winners, and I think we'll prove it.
All right, thank you so much. I love the passion. You just convey it in every phrase you make. It's beautiful to hear. Thank you so much, Sylvan Adams, event promoter for Israel, and of course, the man behind Israel's Startup Nation. Back to Orla.
Thanks, Mark. Well, we have presented the philosophy. We know the calendar. Now it's time to see who is going to be supporting us on this exciting journey. And I can truly say we could hardly hope for bigger or better ambassadors. You may already have seen a bit of a glimpse of them backstage a little bit earlier. But now it is time to announce the two biggest names in track cycling, our ambassadors for the UCI Track Champions League. It's Christina Vogel and Sir Chris Hoy.
You know what? It doesn't get any better than this. Sir Chris Hoy, Christina Vogel, Francois Ribeiro, head of Eurosport Events. Why choose those two icons in particular?
Well, simply because they are legends of that sport. From day one, Mark, when we decided to do a Champions League for the riders, to raise their profile, we said to ourselves, we cannot build a Champions League without top champions, top legends input in the sport. So we picked up, we approached Sir Chris Hoy and Christina Vogel and proposed them to give back something to the sport, which brought them absolutely everything. And they have been wonderful ambassadors to give their contribution, to help us to structure the format. They will be with us along the way all the season to guide us, our first step as a promoter into cycling. It's wonderful to be involved and have such two legends like Chris Hoy and Christina Vogel as part of our team.
It certainly is, and look at the long list of accomplishments. And while we're at it, speaking of legends, let's welcome one of those two legends on the set right here, representing the nation of Germany. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Christina Vogel. Herzlich willkommen aus 50 ans en Yvelines. Welcome to 50 ans en Yvelines. Christina, great to see you. Just a quick word. How excited are you about the UCI Track Champions?
I'm so excited.
And you just can't hide it.
So I just can't hide it. So you see, my smile is so big, so I'm so nervous to be here. It's great.
So, Christina, we'll talk to you in just a moment. Let's check in with Orla, who is also alongside another legend.
Mark, thank you. Yes, indeed. So Chris Hoy is next to me. Chris, we just saw Christina's excitement. Can you match that?
I don't know, but I am excited. Yeah, it feels like it's been coming for a long time. There's been so much work that's gone into this. And yeah, it's just a fantastic time for track cycling.
I can't wait to go through it all with you. But first, let's hear from Christina with Mark.
Thank you, Orla. So this is clearly a track cycling revolution. How will this format change the sport?
Everything. So, I mean, of course, it's going to be hard work for the athletes to have this huge format in between 2 hours will be just full gas. So all the spectators can see 2 hours going full gas. But I love that people who are in cycling and falling in love with cycling, they know exactly everything what's going around. But people who are just starting the love growing, they can go easily understand how track cycling works, how's the passion, how the athletes feel. And we talked about that after the World Championships. We're falling like a hole now we're seeing and can follow track cycling, and now we have the chance to see growing up our superstars and superheroes.
Wow, certainly great to look forward to. Much anticipation. I'm sure you're pretty keen on the actual D-Day when the show will get on the road. Let's go over to Orla and see if we can get a reaction from Sir Chris Hoy as well.
Thank you, Mark. Yes, there are a few track cyclists more decorated in the history of the sport than Sir Chris Hoy. Chris, you're an ambassador for the UCI Track Champions League, but you've also been involved in the creation of it, haven't you?
Yes, yeah. I mean, it was an honour to be asked to be involved, but I think my kind of role and Christina's role was to represent the athletes and to make sure that this wasn't just it looked good on paper, but in reality it didn't work. So we had to really put our shoes into, be in the shoes of the athletes and try and think, how would this be from their perspective? It's got to be exciting. It's got to be bringing the best riders in the world. They've got to want to be part of this. And having spoken to quite a few athletes around the world, they are so excited too. They want to be part of this. It's the herald of a new era in track cycling, and it's in my lifetime it's the most exciting thing that's happened, I think.
And that's saying quite something. Chris, I know you'd love to be with Christina today for this launch. We've tested the technology. I think it works, so we can allow you to ask a question to Christina now, if you like.
Hi, Christina. I hope you're well. Great to see you. I've not seen you since Berlin Worlds, I think. I just wanted to ask you if you've spoken to any of your teammates, any athletes in Germany, what are their thoughts about the Champions League, and are they looking forward to it too?
They are still so excited as I am. And I got a little sneak peek about the trophy we'll see later. And they're so excited to have their trophy standing in their living room. So we'll see it later on. But it is, I think, a great chance, and the others see that as well. So, yeah, excitement pure.
So, Christina, we're going to return the favor as well. You have the right to ask Sir Chris Hoy a question.
Yeah, Chris, I think we met us last time you told it in Berlin, so it's almost kind of 2 years ago. So, are you jealous? Because I am jealous not to compete in this. How are you jealous?
I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. But you know what? I'm just relieved as a track cycling fan now on the other side of the fence that our sport is getting this new platform. It's needed it for so long, and normally the only chance to see all the best athletes in the world together at the same time is at a World Championships or an Olympic Games. So to have this series of events that is going to introduce a whole different audience to track cycling, I think it is just so exciting, and I can't wait for it to start.
All right, thank you very much for the insight. The technology is there. It's great to have these two legends just trading a few words right here during this official presentation for the UCI Track Champions League. Francois, we've talked about the calendar, the venues, the locations, the when, the what's, the wheres. There's one question we haven't talked about yet. What are the riders going to be wearing in terms of skin suits, their jerseys as well? Maybe you can shed some light for us about that.
Well, we announced a partnership with Santini. It's a great brand to work with, such creative and professionalism. We wanted the jerseys to be completely part of the identity of the Champions League. I think it is important for the riders themselves that they can put also the sponsors on it, but it's super important for the fans to identify the riders and be able to follow and recognize them. So as you can see, there will be a very strong national flavor on the jerseys. We will supply the kits for the 72 riders, and I think that reflects the level of where do we want to put the bar for the Champions League. It looks outstanding. I just love that design.
Absolutely, the design is great. We'll talk more about it in a few moments. For now, let's head over to Bath with Orla as well.
Mike, this is when it starts to feel real, isn't it? Because, of course, it's a cycling tradition that a leader will have their own specific individual jersey. So, of course, the UCI Track Champions League is no different. And we can now give you an exclusive look at how these very special, soon-to-be coveted jerseys have been created.
design for the leaders jersey for the Track Champions League really came about from obviously having discussions with all the various different guys involved and trying to maintain the branding, which is incredibly strong and attractive. Trying to convey that as best possible in the jersey and all those various different aspects that are what is track cycling, adrenaline and speed. And to be honest, I think we've achieved a fairly good result.
You know, we have an all-new guest right here on set, the actual distinctive jersey for the UCI Track Champions League. All the leaders will be wearing this particular jersey alongside track cycling legend Christina Vogel. Christina, ambassador as well for the UCI TCL. But looking at this jersey, we were talking about it off air just a moment ago. It is beautiful. The color just resonates. It's vibrant. What are your thoughts about this jersey?
It is so pretty. It's really pretty. Look at color. And I mean, in cycling, the leaders jersey, it's kind of a miracle and fairy tale thing. You get always extra power when you're wearing this jersey, and you know that when you wear the jersey, you are the one to beat, you know? So it's crazy. I'm really falling in love with it.
Falling in love with the jersey. Orla, is Chris Hoy falling in love with the jersey?
I think you might be, you know, Chris. What's your initial reaction to the jersey?
I love it, and I think it's important that it's distinctive, it stands out, it's, you know, different to other national jerseys or team kits, and it's a cool colour, and this is to be the first person to wear it and to be the first person to be the leader of the Champions League. That'll be a historic moment. So, yeah, they're going to be battling hard to put this on.
Well, let's commemorate the occasion then, shall we? We've got a pen there. I know that you've got a whole technique as to how you sign these
Shall
things.
I hold up first of all, just so we can see it? That's the back.
Beautiful.
Zips up the back for aero efficiency and for also looks good on the podium. Right, here we go. So yeah, special technique. Stretch it over your legs like this.
If you're watching at home, this is how Sir Chris Hoy does it. If you ever need to sign your jersey.
This is a pretty snaggy material, but it's... There we go. I've made a complete mess of that. Live on air. There we go. That's how my signature always looks, honest.
It adds to the value however you write it, Chris. Beautiful. Well, Mark, we still have something very special to reveal, don't we?
But Orla, can you just tuck away that jersey for me? We can do what we said before going on the air. You keep it and send it over my way. Thank you very much. Certainly, you know the format, you know the calendar, you know what the skin suits and the distinctive jersey looks like. But there's one thing that you don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, the time is right now. We're going to show you the official UCI Track Champions League trophy.
Wonderful.
Wow, that is simply put a modern-day work of art. It is big, it is large, it looks heavy alongside UCI President David Lapartien, head of Eurosport Events, François Ribeiro, Christina. Looking at that trophy, that thing is gargantuan.
Oh my God, it couldn't be huger and more excitement to win that trophy. I mean, look how tall it is. It has an LED light in it, so it's just perfect. So I'm so jealous. So, with who I have to speak to have that in my living room? So.
Would it even fit is the question. Let's throw it over to Orla for a quick reaction with Chris.
Chris has been trying to work out where he would fit it in his home. Chris, you've won many a prize in your day. What do you think of this one?
It's unique. It's stunning, and I think it's befitting of the scale and the importance of this league. It certainly wouldn't have fitted in my own flat in Manchester, that's for sure.
We'll come back to you in just a moment, Chris, because I think that your microphone, we're having a few little issues. But let's take another closer look at the trophy, shall we, Mark?
Thank you so much, Orla. We're going to ask UCI President David Lapartien, head of Eurosport Events, François Ribeiro, to lift the actual trophy itself. I was told it weighs about 30 kilos or so, but this is the actual track section of the trophy. You can remove as well, as you can see, that sort of track-shaped apparatus here, the form factor looking very strong, the color effect as well, and the names will be engraved on the track. The champions will be listed. François, just having the honor of lifting that trophy, what does it mean for you?
Well, I can tell you, I very much look forward to see on December 11th which 4 names we will engrave on that trophy. And every year it will be the same ceremony for the grand finale.
And David as well, obviously this is the dawn of a new era. It's just exciting to be a part of this adventure. I'm sure a lot of emotions are going through you right now as well.
No, this is really wonderful. This is a wonderful trophy. It's a massive one. It's a heavy one. It will be difficult to win. And finally, we are happy to be the first one to hold the trophy.
Well, there you have it. Groundbreaking performance. The pioneers of a new era. David Lapartien, François Ribeiro, Orla, back to you.
Okay, well.
Thanks, Mark. Well, we know what the calendar will look like. We know how the competition will work. We know what the riders are competing for. But there is one very important thing left to find out, and that is how the riders themselves feel about the UCI Track Champions League. Let's find out, shall we?
I'm super excited that somebody's going to try and get all the track cycling and make it, really easy to digest for the fans. I think this is a great opportunity, to bring something entertaining in the world of track cycling back to the fans.
I'm really proud to be a part of the first UCI Track Champions League. I really like the gender equality, that we are the same amount of riders and we do the same distances.
I think it's a big innovation in track cycling and there will be a lot of tension on it. Yeah, you can't make any mistake because then you're out and you need to wait for the next week. It's totally different than what we normally race.
Franchement, je ne sais pas si j'aurai assez de place dans ma chambre pour pouvoir avoir ce trophée, mais c'est super parce que sur la piste, on n'a pas de trophée, on n'en a jamais, c'est toujours des médailles et c'est vrai que là, ça donne une autre dimension tout aussi excitante.
Jo, tai aš praktiškai ir atsakiau iš tą klausimą jau prieš tai tikrai, kad tos šviesos, visas treko įforminimas, manau, kad priduos įvaizdžio efektų, daugiau emocijų, daugiau ryškesnių išgyvenimų, galbūt netgi to gilesnio supratimo sportą, tai manau, kad turėtų būti puikus renginys tiek žiūrovams, tiek sportininkams.
Si un pabellón está lleno y anima a su gente, a su corredor favorito o al corredor que más da la talla, podríamos decirlo así de alguna manera, o que más se entrega, mejor dicho, yo creo que en el momento que arranca, que hace un ataque, que hace la carrera dura o espectacular, yo veo que la gente que entiende el ciclismo pues le anima más y se nota mucho más el ambiente.
Ça va être franchement quelque chose d'énorme parce que du coup, on va vraiment ressentir une atmosphère de grandes opportunités, une atmosphère où vraiment il va y avoir beaucoup de monde, ça va faire une belle émulation et ça va être vraiment bien parce qu'à la télé, les gens vont pouvoir voir des choses qu'ils ne voyaient pas et du coup ça va vraiment créer une magnifique atmosphère et j'ai hâte de pouvoir courir dans cette atmosphère-là.
Taip, vilkėti išskirtinių kostiumų yra visada didžiulė pagarba ir toks pasitikėjimas. Tai tikrai toksai, manau, kad yra didžiulis savimėlės paglostymas ir manau, kad tai didelė tokia paskata sportininkam būti išskirtiniu ir norėti atrodyti kitaip ir vilkėti šitą kostiumą, tai siekiamybė.
I think it's like the World Championship jersey, which everyone wants to win. So it's really nice to wear a jersey which everyone knows you're the best at the moment. And I think it's also motivating, yes.
It's pretty rare that there's been a track event that's been promoted well and it's got exciting races on. We know there's a big emphasis on making it entertaining for the riders and the fans.
Well, there you have it, the level of excitement at an all-time high. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, the trophy here, but how much time do we have to wait until the UCI Track Champions League joins you at a Vélodrome near you very soon? Let me turn my attention to David Lapartien, François Ribeiro once again to launch the official countdown. Gentlemen, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, here we go. The official countdown, 172 days, 6 hours, 59 minutes, and 53 seconds. Orla Chinawi, back to you.
Oh, Mark, thank you. It's been a true privilege to be here at the start of such an important journey. I can't wait to see how it all gets underway later this year. A huge thank you to all of my guests. Brian has left, so I'll have Chris and Andrew. Chris, your microphone cut out, but just briefly. You love that trophy, don't you?
I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's huge. It's significant. It represents the importance of this new league, and it's so exciting for the riders to have something that's going to be iconic to win.
Andrew, you asked David Lapartien earlier what he's most looking forward to. What are you most looking forward to?
Well, I think the in-venue experience is certainly right up there for me. But the one thing, listening to everyone talk today that's really excited me is the enthusiasm of the athletes themselves. The athletes feel like they really want this to happen, and their participation in this is going to make the world of difference. If they're excited, we feed off that, and we're going to make this a really great event.
That's what matters. I cannot wait. Thank you for having us along for today. We'll see you for round one.
Thank you very much, Orla. Thank you to all the guests involved as well. Thank you for everyone here in Saint-Quentin-en-Yvelines. Just a quick reaction, perhaps, from David Lapartien. I'm going to steal that question from Orla. What are you most waiting for?
Still 172 days. We are excited about what we saw today, and we hope to see a great track cycling event.
And François, the final words as well?
Well, 2021 is certainly the year of track cycling with Olympics, World Championship, and the first ever Track Champions League all in a row within 5 months is going to be awesome. And I hope you felt today the amount of energy and effort that Eurosport Events, with the full support of Eurosport and Discovery, are going to put into this to make it a success.
You know what?
I cannot wait.
Talking about Eurosport Events, I was going to say high octane. That's the motorsport maniac inside of myself, but it's not going to work here for track cycling. Nevertheless, great to be with you from Saint-Quentin-en-Yvelines, myself and the entire team. Thank you so much for being in attendance. We look forward to seeing more of you in the very near future. Take care and have a great day. Thank you.